Hi folks, here we are down in New Ringgold, Pennsylvania. This is kind of central Pennsylvania, a little to the east side. This is Joe's Used Auto Parts, and they got an easy pull yard out back here. We come around the back from the big, there's like a salvage area out front with all kinds of stuff, thousands of cars there. But they got some old stuff out here. There's a Dodge Wrecker, but there's a whole old section down here. We're gonna go check it out and just enjoy the video, and we'll walk around and show you what there is. Well, we'll just show you these couple here that were near, then we'll get down into the older stuff. Here's a Dodge Wrecker. Got a Chevy Wrecker over there, square body. I seen there was a couple older trucks. There's an older Ford dent side over there. A lot of different trucks. Some of them in 70s, 80s, and then there's some newer stuff. But here's an old International here as well. This is a KB International, bigger series one. Right here's the flatbed on it, but it's kind of rusty, but probably still got some pieces and parts in there. But we'll get back to the older stuff. Just figured I'd catch a couple of these and show you. I got a few old tractors up in here. One here, a couple over in here. There's an International with a bucket on it. Little Ford baler there, little square baler looks like. Another tractor over there, Massey Ferguson. Quite a few different tractors. So they got tractors and trucks and big equipment and stuff here, about everything you can imagine. Look at the old wooden spray rig there. Kind of wild, huh? Not sure what the company is on that. It shows a Ferdy. Oh no, Hardy. Sorry. Hardy is the company. Kind of cool, huh? The wooden barrel on it. Here's an Alice Chalmers. So if you're looking for tractor parts, they got a lot of them. You can see them all right there. Look at them all. Well, we've got down to the bottom here. This is the older section, so we're going to show you all this stuff. A lot of different things. I can see things in the 50s and 60s. I see stuff back in the 40s over here to the right. So we're going to walk around and show you what there is. This one, I kind of give you an idea of the scale of this place. I'm going to come over here and show you kind of what we're talking about here. I'll get up in the back of this pickup, maybe get up a little higher. So anyway, you can see there's just thousands of cars. You come in way up there, it's an easy pull or U-pull yard. So they charge you a couple bucks to come in. You bring your own toolkit, come take off what you want, and then they'll charge you on the way out. But there's thousands of more modern things. There's equipment, there's trucks, there's cars. Then this is just scratching the surface here. Out on the other side over there up front was all the scrap metal, and they have just an absolute mountain of crushed cars waiting to go with scales and semis and everything. It's a big operation. So anyway, we're gonna just walk around and give you a rough idea of what there is. We won't be able to talk about it all and won't be able to show it all, but we'll do the best we can. And like we said, this is New Ringgold, Pennsylvania. Joe's Used Auto Parts, or Easy Pull. I guess it's all on the same property, but there's different sections of it. Well, here's a cool one here. This is a Studebaker wagon, and this is the one with the sliding roof. You don't see these too often. This whole panel slides up into the roof, so you can load stuff in the back there easier. But that's a Studebaker. Not super rusty, a little bit on the bottom edges, so you get some usable parts there, I'm sure. I'm sure most of these are, you know, just parts cars at this point, but you bring your toolkit out, you can get what you need. Got a Mustang there. A couple Mustangs back in here. Got this one. Oh no, I guess it's just that one. There's some other models and stuff over here. We'll check that out in a minute. Here's an AMC wagon. Here's a Packard sedan here. There's an International truck back in here. I got a Corvair right here. So we're just kind of walk up and down the aisles and show you what there is, roughly. Now, a lot of these have had a lot of parts taken off them or whatever, so what you see is what's left. Looks like a Gremlin, AMC Gremlin, I think. Another AMC here. But there is quite a slew of cars. Got some Mopar stuff back in here. I don't know if I don't see any specific category other than the fact just the older stuff is back here. Jeep. Looks like a Volare or something back in there. Notice the they have all kinds of shale, or I don't know what kind of rock this is you get in Pennsylvania, but look at the amount of pieces and parts and plastic and stuff that's in the ground here. It's just ridiculous from years of scrapping stuff. It's all in the ground. There's a Plymouth sedan here. A little Bronco. Oh, look at the old Jeep here, Jeep wagon. There's a Jeep, Willie's Jeep. Another Mopar there. Looks like a Pontiac there, maybe the reddish one. Pinto. You can see in the distance there's a payloader over there with a blade on it. It's just pushing stuff back in there. All day long they're doing stuff here. Another Jeep here. Rambler American. A Beetle. A couple Volkswagens back in here. It's crazy. Lots of stuff, thousands of cars, thousands of old ones here even, not to talk about all the new stuff. There's probably tens of thousands of the newer stuff. There's a Ford Thunderbird. Pontiac Fiero, what's left of one. Looks like a Chrysler. And maybe that one's GM, probably a Cadillac, I'm guessing, but it's got the quarters cut off of it. I'm sure you could find some good derby cars here as well. Lots of 70s stuff. Although we get a lot of people come out for stuff out our way for derby cars, believe it or not, because they're not rusty, and they don't really want them rusty because they can't modify them too much. So they want a good solid body, which is kind of odd. You think, well, they're just crushing it, but it's kind of how it goes. Oh, look at the limo here. That's wild. And we got a little Rambler on the far side of it, looks like. I don't think I've seen a limo like that before. Got a Chevy back in there. Pretty wild. You've got ribs on the roof. I don't know if it's an airport limo or what, but it's got ribs up there. You could put stuff. That one's a Chrysler. Here's the Rambler. But we'll just kind of walk along through them here. This is the back end of this aisle. There's a Gran Torino wagon, station wagon right there. Now this one, they got a little rough with the doors. Nothing left of it hardly. It's a Cadillac, two-door hardtop, or a four-door hardtop, but notice the doors are all ripped out. Not sure what happened there. Oh, I see the back end of a Studebaker here. There's a Studebaker right there. And we'll kind of jump back and forth in these aisles and see what's on this side here. Got a Ford pickup back in here. That's a bump side Ford pickup back there. Two of them actually, the blue one behind it as well. Looks like a Volvo here. Maybe a Chrysler in behind it. Another little Chrysler or a Mopar back in there. There's an AMC SX4, little four-wheel drive hatchback. This one's seen some better days. I think it's an Econoline pickup, missing the top. Here's what's left of a Mustang there. So there's all kinds of them. Look at the top on this one. It's got a opening roof there. It's kind of interesting. Now, if we don't mention some of the brands, like that one I don't recognize, it's an import car of some sort. If we don't mention some, maybe some guys can spot them in the video, give us the minute mark, give a comment as to what they are, or if you've been to this place, tell us about it. You know, I don't know a lot about this place because it's the first time we've been here, and just kind of showing you around. There's an Eldorado, and that's a convertible as well. But if you've been here and gotten parts, tell us your experiences, what's good, what's bad, and maybe tell us what's the best thing you got out of here. I'm sure there's guys that are watching that have been to this place before. Got a Mercury here. That one's a two-door hardtop. But we're just kind of showing you a rough idea what there is. So if somebody wants to come down that hasn't been here, they can get the experience. There's another Studebaker there. Look at this. This one is a Chevy carryall. Looks like somebody's already got in. No, it's still got quite a bit of the garnish trims and stuff. Some of these garnish trims around the rear windows and stuff that's specific to a carryall has got some value. You know, the latches and stuff for this back door, things like that have some value. So there's still some good pieces and parts, even though this side here is kicked in. Place like this, you kind of just cherry pick it for, you know, the parts that you know that are worthwhile, worth getting off. There are a lot of older ones here though. Kind of surprised, you know, on the East Coast you think a lot of them are going to be rusted away. Look at the Jaguar there. But there are quite a few of them here yet. Citation, Chevy. Here's a Corvair pickup truck here. This is one of the ones with the side tailgate because they get a rear engine, so they, you know, the engine's up under the back. They get a side gate there. That one's pretty rotten right there. Another Fiero. Well, thinking that one's a Rambler there. This one here's, I think, a Rambler too. This one's a Marlin actually. It's the fastback two-door Marlin right there, AMC. Here's a Corvair van, similar to the pickup, but it's got basically got a box on the back. There's another Corvair here as well. Let's see what this Dodge pickup is right here. This is a two-wheel drive. I just wanted to see what the paint scheme here. It's the red, white, and blue. So it must be a 1976 probably for the bicentennial, I'm guessing. I don't know. Or somebody maybe just painted it up. Yeah, it says Spirit of 76 on there. So that's a special model for the bicentennial. Kind of interesting. Looks like maybe a little MG over in there. And as you can see, these aisles go up. There's a Mustang on the end, but there's lots of more modern, you know, 90s and 2000s stuff. And you can notice too, well, you can see them right here, how they got them up on blocks in the front, so you can get under all the front end and pull out parts. There's a Cadillac right there. And here's a Buick LeSabre. Here's some Cadillacs here. You got a couple right in here. Couple Caddies there. Big station wagon here. What is that, a Ford probably? Boy, somebody got into the tailgate there, trying to get some of the parts out of the tailgate maybe. They do have some rules up front. You bring your own tools and no grinders. They don't want you cutting stuff out with grinders, which is kind of funny because in our world of old car parts, you know, a grinder and the sawzall sometimes is the only way to get some of that stuff that's seized up and such out of them, you know. There's a Dodge pickup. So I'm not sure how some of that old rustier stuff, how they get it out, you know, if the bolts won't come apart. Got a square body there. Got the back end of a few of these. Here's another Ford pickup here, a couple of them. A couple more bump sides. This one's got all kinds of writing on the back there, 24-hour delivery. There's a Ranchero. I can see a 50s Buick. You can see where the portholes were on the side. This looks like a Chrysler Imperial. And another Thunderbird there. That one's about a 49 or 50 Dodge or Plymouth something. Actually it's probably a 50 or so Mopar product of some sort. And we got a Dodge pickup next to it here. What's left of a Dodge pickup there. So you're not going to get a lot of body parts off these because they're rusty, you know. If you want body parts, you got to go out west. But if you're looking for trim stuff, mechanical parts, a lot of that kind of stuff is savable off things like these. Here's a Chevy, little dump truck, little 1-ton dump. Well, we'll walk up this aisle here. Got some big 70s cars up in here. Another Cadillac right there. Here's a Chevy, 4-door sedan there. Look at the Jeep Commando here. Kind of cool. But there's quite a slew of them in here. There's a Packard right there, the greenish one. Packard sedan. Got another Corvair van there. See what some of these, there's a couple older ones up here. Well, this one's a Plymouth, I think. No, it's a Dodge. So that one's like a 4950 Dodge, somewhere in there. And there's another Dodge right there. That one's a 46-8. Had the roof cut off it. Look at the old mail Jeep here. Don't see many of those around anymore. Looks like somebody cut off part of the front fender there. Here's the Scooby van here. It's a Ford Econoline. Another Mopar here. This one's a Cambridge. Cambridge model. There's an International Scout right there. Had a plow frame on that one. Pinto, Ford Pinto. Well, we're just kind of scanning down the aisles here. Well, over here we got a Corvair. We got another Mopar here, 46-8 style. That might be a Chrysler. It looks like it has a longer nose. Got a 4-dent side there. F-150 looks like. And we got some, let's see, what is this one here? This one's a Malibu, Chevy Malibu. And it looks like we got a Falcon in front of it that kind of buckled in half. Buick here, 4-door hardtop. Then we'll get back in here. This one's got flames on it. Somebody's little hot rod here. runs, it says on it. LeSabre. Buick LeSabre. There's a square body Chevy there. Looks like it had the cab lifted up off it. So, you know, if you're out here in the Pennsylvania area, this is a cool place to come. And there just aren't many places around anymore that have older stuff. And this place will let you come look, take off what you want. Here's the Big 10 Chevy there. So that's always a good thing too. Some places won't let you in, won't even let you look at stuff. That makes it difficult to buy anything. There's another convertible here. See, is this one a Cadillac, I think? It's missing the nose cone. I think that one is probably a Cadillac. Ain't much left of that one though. Here's another Ford bump side. Got a roll bar on that one. Anyway, we'll kind of jump around the end of this aisle, come up the other side. Eldorado. Seems like a derby guy would have a field day down here. Big Mercury wagon. And we got a little Ford here. And another Corvair, looks like. That's like a 52 or 3 Ford. So we'll just kind of come up this side here, see what there is. You never know what to expect at a place like this. You could come across anything. Some things get into a place like this that shouldn't as well. You never know. This one had the back end cut off of it. Here's another Mopar here, late 50s. Got a Buick Special behind it. This here kind of makes you think of Christine, doesn't it? Right out of the junkyard. Finned Mopar. There's a Ford van there. Oh, here's a station wagon. This looks like a Plymouth Suburban. Maybe a 53 around there. Here again, if I tell you wrong, you can correct me in the comments, or if we don't identify it, you can let us know as well, because there's a lot of things here, and I'm not going to be able to spot them all. There's a Buick. Oh, here's one of these little, I think this is an Opel GT, if I remember right. Kind of looks like a small Corvette. Another Dodge pickup, 60s one. Look at this Corvair van here, missing the whole top. Somebody took the top off. Look at the old writing on here though. I can't exactly read it, but it's Reading, Pennsylvania. Some sort of business. Let's see if we can read on the other side, I'm not sure. That's pretty tough to read. Something sales and service. What's this one? A Hudson maybe? Looks like a late Hudson. Got a 202 motor. So there's quite a slew of stuff here anyway. There's what's left of a Corvette right there. There's another Hudson over here. Four-door sedan, had the front smashed in, but probably still got some pieces and parts. Another thing you can get out here is stainless steel trim and glass. That's stuff that doesn't rust. So out west we can find good sheet metal and stuff, but about every car has the glass smashed out of it. And Chevys and Fords, you can buy brand new glass, but some of the oddball stuff, they might not make the glass new, so you'd have to find some original stuff. And stainless, of course, does not rust. There's another Buick Skylark here. This one's kind of cool here. Wilkes Garage, Speed Custom. I must have been somebody's yard art. SO Extra. Old Chevy two-door fastback. But you know, like this one as an example, you know, it's got some good usable dash parts and stuff. Got a clock there, ashtray, glove box door. Still got quite a few of the garnish moldings. Somebody had some lights, a string of lights around the windows. That was probably somebody's yard art, then it made it in here. Somebody was testing out their painting skills, it looks like. Got another Chevy here. Quite a few of these are painted down in here. Matter of fact, look at this. Good wrench number 3 right there. If you notice, the video gets a little bumpy, and that's because of stepping on all these rocks and stuff here. Blue one's a Triumph, what's left of one. Here's another international pickup here. Look at the advertising on the door there. Somebody could make that as wall art. Another square body here with a V-plow on it. Look at the Mustang here, Firestone. Somebody was having fun painting these up, even though, see the Volkswagen bus, we'll come up the other side and show you that one. It's got all kinds of stuff painted on it. Valvoline. It's kind of funny, huh? This one didn't look like it was too horrible, but it's kind of rusty. It's a Ford F100. But here again, look at the, it's got the custom cab, got all the stainless around the windshield. Betty Boop in the rear window. It's got an ashtray, glove box door, somebody's pulled the gauges. But there's still pieces and parts on there. Got a VIN tag on it. F100 VIN tag is worth something. There's a GMC square body there. And here's a Suburban. Look at the old, here's a Plymouth here. Look at the old Lancaster Holiday Auto Sales. The old dealership tag on there. Now here's an area down in the back. I don't know if they save these for when scrap is high or what they do, but they got probably 6 cars deep, all squashed flat, all along the tree line there, all the way over there, and all the way up the side over there. There's a lot of smashed cars along there. And then, like I told you, there's a whole nother area that's got to have them about 10, 20 deep. There's just a mountain of crushed cars over in the other area. So it's a pretty impressive place. Be a cool place to come if you're a photographer too, to come take pictures of stuff. This looks like another Buick. Here's the Volkswagen I was telling you about. Kind of hippie paint job on it. Another Mustang here. Straight 6 in that one. Just kind of scanning around. Oh, here's a bunch of square bodies over in here. That's a short box one there. And there's 3, 4 more up in the next aisle. I think that's a Cadillac convertible there. Got an El Camino here. That one, the body's not too horrible on it. A little rust and filler on the bottom edges. Another Cadillac here. Oh, look at this. It says Daisy May Wiener Dog Racing on the side there. It's kind of funny. I don't know what these are all about, but maybe somebody that's from the area can tell us. This one says Doc Hudson on the fender. Flying A motor oil on the hood. This one's got all kinds of stuff. Team Problems. Looks like an Oldsmobile. Here's another Olds here. And a Volkswagen Beetle. Well, we're going to come down this row. Looks like a Buick maybe? Or a LaSalle? Not sure on that one. Maybe somebody can tell us. A couple GM cars anyway. There's a Ford Falcon here. And we got another Corvair pickup with the side tailgate. This one's a Mopar, 46 to 8. Probably a Dodge. Right there, no front clip on it. Here's the back side of those square body Chevys right here. This is another short box one. This one really don't look too horrible. Silverado C10. This one here is a four-wheel drive long box. And we got a couple more long boxes along here. That one's got an old light fixture in the back. And a Jeep. This is the old high hood Jeep too. It's got the tall flat hood on it. Got a Ford engine in there. Kind of a cool older Jeep though. I can see they're rearranging some stuff with the big payloader. Got big 12-foot forks on there and they just toss the cars around with those. Got a little Blazer here. This looks like another Plymouth right there. Get down in some bushes here. Probably if you come later in the season, this might be a little grown up down in here. Here's an International truck there with a plow on it. So anyway, the guy with that loader has those big forks on it. And he just picks those cement blocks up, tosses them out of the way, moves the car where he wants it. He'll bring another car down and put it on the blocks. The guy's probably riding that all day long. There's another 40s Mopar. This one looks like a Chrysler here, I think. Two-door sedan, or a coupe. Club coupe, I guess, maybe. Another wrecker there. A lot of wreckers have met their demise in here. There's a panel truck over there. We kind of missed that one. That's a Ford panel. Somewhere 58 or 9, somewhere 60. I don't know. That series panel truck anyway, F100. Just kind of scan along here, show you some of these. We're going to keep going here. We got a ways to go yet. Another El Camino back in here. GT. No, it's a Ranchero, I guess. Ranchero. There's a Lincoln Continental. Two-door. Just gonna scan over to this side. We got a Ford Thunderbird right here. Red one. And we'll kind of jump up around the end of the side. We'll catch you on the next row here. Well, we'll start going down this road. We got a little Ford there on the end. Got a Chevy square body. I can't get over the amount of stuff on the ground in between things and stuff. Guess I haven't been to a yard out this way too often, you know. Ones out our way don't really have much loose around because it's so windy. You got to keep it in place, you know. Another wagon there. Otherwise, stuff would be blowing all over the place. The amount of wind we get out west. Another little Mopar there. There's another Plymouth here. Quite a few Mopars around here. A little Rambler there, looks like that red one. Another Caddy. Chrysler here, I believe. Four-door. There's a Chevy up on the blocks. That one's got the grill guard on it yet. This one's sitting way up in the air on the block. And that one here again, got all the dash parts. Somebody's got all the doors out of it. Got the bumpers, bumper brackets, all that kind of stuff. Another international pickup. Little Volkswagen station wagon there. I think that's a Studebaker truck there. Chevy truck there with the hood peeled back, and this is a square body on the right. There's a 60s one there with the hood peeled back. And looks like probably a Plymouth here. That one's a Plymouth right there. Not sure if that other one was a Cadillac or a Chrysler. But we'll jump around the end of this aisle, walk up the other side here. Here's the back side of that Chevy pickup I was talking about. There's a bed for it. Another Jag here. So this place is just gigantic. I mean, it's got many full-time employees with different departments and scrap metals and semis going out all over the place. So it's definitely a sight to be seen. A couple Broncos here. But we were down doing the Carlisle swap meet. So we got the car corral, the swap meet videos, the auction, all at Carlisle. We've done some museums. I got out to the Indianapolis 500 Museum, stuff like that. And looks like another international there. So you can catch all those videos if you're into anything automotive. I'm sure you like the channel, and please give us thumbs up, give us good comments. All these things are appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't already. All those things really help. There's a Volvo there, and enable us to do more and more. Another Thunderbird. But we do about anything automotive. Museums, junkyards, swap meets, auctions. We're in South Dakota, so we do stuff out west. Different estates and ranches and stuff. There's a TR7 Triumph. Another square body there. And we also do antique shows and flea markets and shops and things like that, because we also are into antiques and have an antique shop as well. And we have our own little salvage yard out in South Dakota if you're into stuff. We mostly do a little bit older stuff than this, stuff in the 30s and 40s, or pickup trucks and truck parts up into the 50s and 60s. So you never know where you'll catch us. There's a Mustang there, got another Thunderbird behind it. Corvair here. But we just figured we'd come out here for a quick tour. There's another Chevy wagon, another Corvair there, a lot of Corvairs. There's a Dodge right there. Another Thunderbird. Volvo. Got a few in the back here. It's hard to catch them all because they're going every direction, and there's several deep. You know, some of the places they're 3-4 deep. So it's hard to see them all, but if you like this place, come check it out. There's another little Mopar, and that one's a business coupe. Notice the short roof. You could call it a 3-window coupe, but I think they called it from the factory a business coupe. And we'll jump over to the next aisle here. See what this older one in the back is. Look at I'm just walking along here. I notice there's a piece of a steering column. Just looks like an archaeological dig there. Fossilized steering column in the ground. That looks GM there. I'm not positive on that one. This one's a little Cushman rig of some sort. Another square body on this side. Looks like we still got several aisles there. Chrysler convertible. Another Plymouth wagon here, looks like. Quite a slew of stuff. Pontiac Catalina back in there. Another Corvair here. Not sure what this glass body is. Another convertible back in there. Station wagon here. Look at this one, got the back end. Somebody backed over with that payload to probably flatten out the back end of it. But there is just a overwhelming pile of stuff here. There's a little Carmen Ghia from the looks of it. Well, we got a few guys working on something up there, getting some parts off. Like we said, it's a U-pull-it yard, so guys can come in here with their tool bags and stuff. You pull into the parking lot, and look at the old dealership tag on that one. Pull into the parking lot, and a lot of guys are getting prepared, getting their tools out and their bags and stuff, getting ready to go in and pull parts. It's a good day for it right now, especially in the morning here. It'll warm up today because right now it's probably in the low 70s, but it'll get a lot warmer as the day progresses. Another Corvette there. Yeah, you can see a guy, you can hear a guy in the background there taking stuff off with an electric tool. Those battery impact tools have made it a lot easier for guys to go around and look at the Buick back in there. Go around and do stuff like that. Pull pieces and parts on the go. Just kind of painting as we go. You know, sorry if I go a little bit quick on them, but this is a big place and we don't want to make this too long because we got several other videos to do, and we're going to do 2 more today is the hopes of it. There's another Thunderbird there. Another Jag. That looks like a Chrysler back in there. Another one up on the blocks here. And we'll catch up with you the next aisle. Come up this side here. Looks like maybe 3 more aisles of this older stuff. And this, like I said, this older stuff, there's another international pickup, is just a minute portion. This whole video is just a, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5% of what this yard is. This is the old section, but there's lots and lots of more modern stuff. There's another F100 cab, 61-6. Here's an Impala here, 2-door hardtop, right here. Another 61-6 Ford truck there, and that one's a short box back in there. I think this is maybe a Dodge. Oh look, there's a 60 or 61 Chevy panel truck there. You can see that tall hood all buckled up. That's a half-ton panel. What's left of one anyway. And that Ford back there, looks like it might have been a short box one, but that's one of those unicab deals there. Somebody's cut the roof off and stuff, but you can see, yeah, it was a short box one, but that's a unicab. Notice how the bed and the cab are one piece there. It's not a separate bed. Ford did that for a couple years back in the early 60s. This looks like another Studebaker wagon like that one we saw earlier with the sliding roof in the back. Got a couple of those. Now look at that one. The hood peeled right back on that one, didn't it? That one looks like either a Chrysler or DeSoto back in there. 2-door hardtop. Yeah, you can see there's guys all over the place tearing stuff apart. You see a couple guys working on the wheel of that one. There's another guy back here with an impact. I can hear other guys off in the distance. And we were first thing in the morning. I can imagine during the day there's probably a lot more, a couple more Corvairs there. One's a van right there. Another van. Another international truck. And over this side, you get another Ford short box here. You'd think that these, the frames, you know, even if these frames aren't too rusty for a short box, might have some value. So it would be impossible to show the entire place, but we're doing what we can. There's a Dodge Club Cab. Here's a Jeep pickup here. Gladiator pickup, I guess, with the flatbed. And a GMC. Right there, advanced design. That one's a 52 or 3 GMC dump truck. Another Studebaker here on the end. Look at this, Barnyard Stompers. A little sticker on there. It's a Dodge van. It's a long van too with the extended back. And we got another Chevy right here. Quite a place, isn't it? I'm kind of surprised on the amount of old stuff they have. And it's very accessible. You just walk down these aisles and, you know, they don't let you drive back in here, but you can walk down and get your stuff. There's a Blazer there. Another Studebaker on this side, right there. Two of them actually. That white one's a Studebaker as well. International Scout 2 right there, 4-wheel drive one. There's an LTD convertible here and a Chrysler next to it. There's a International Travelall. I've got one of these that's really nice at home. It does need the tie rod length. I see there's one on that one. That's what it needs right there. I need the rear window glass too, and that one's missing on that one. Volkswagen Beetle. Here's a Chevy dump truck here. Got the chains on the tires even in the back. 55 or 6, somewhere in there. Kind of a cool old dump truck. Just gonna look through a couple of these trucks here. We got an International crew cab right there. That'd be cool for somebody to build something. Oh, cool. Look at the old camper here. Spartanette, it says on there. Somebody must have had calves or pigs or something living in there for a while. It's an aluminum camper. On the back side of it here. Looks like a Mack cab there maybe. But I mean, there's everything here. The steamrollers, look at them. Tractors, you name it. Here's an old payloader, Huff or something. All kinds of old stuff here. Some more old wrecker over there. There's a road grader there. It's kind of cool seeing some of the writings on the door, see where they came from. Like this one here is New York, New York right there. Tip Cab Lumber Company from New York City. Look at all the rear axles for trucks here. Quite a group of stuff here. We got another Thunderbird. There's another Ford truck cab here, the red one. And there's a few more back in there, but we're going to finish it up on this side over here. Got a Thunderbird convertible back in there. Let's see what this Ford pickup is here. Another Ford. Let's get a short box as well. Got the short square box on that one. Somebody pulled the rear out of it. Looks like there's the hood for it over there, plastered against the wall. Another International Travelall. That one's a 2-wheel drive one. And there's another Ford there with a farm rack on the back. A couple Volkswagen Beetles. Sometimes we get guys looking for Beetles. Here's a Corvair van. Couple more Beetles there. There's a Ford pickup box trailer back in there. Another dent side Ford here. And we got an International Scout here. That's the little first series Scout right there. And some more Volkswagens over here. So for you guys into Volkswagen Beetles, there's a few of those around here. There's even a couple up there. You can shed a tear over those. They're all crushed up on top. But anyway, that's the walk we're going to do here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And like I say, we do all kinds of automotive stuff and antique stuff. So keep an eye on us. and we'll catch you on the next round. Thanks for watching.